All right, welcome everyone. I am doing if you want to call it, a different kind of emergency stream tonight. So yesterday I lost to Blue Red Temple, and while you can lose to the occasional Blue Red Temple every once in a blue moon, this time felt different. Now in my last four matches against Blue Red, I think I only went 2-2, which is way too close from comfort for me. Like ideally, I want to go something like 4-1, 5-1. Like for every loss, I have win 4 or 5 times instead of this 2-2 stuff. So to me, the deck is in shambles. We got to rebuild. I pride myself on pretty much trying to be 70-ish% against Delver. And I use the word Delver, which is anomaly actually, because the deck actually plays zero Delver now. Before I start, I just want to show what I played last night, and I was experimenting again with the natural order package, and the sideboard is like more or less pretty stock outside of the four force of vigor, which I think is good into this metagame. Now let me bring up the deck that did well at the showcase. That's blue red. Uh, Boland, a frequent viewer of our stream. So here's the list. Now there's no Delver, and there's only two Murktide. There's really only 10 threats if you think about it, right? Four Cori-Steel, four Channeler, two Murktide. Now, traditionally, and even especially in recent memory, maybe before Cori-Steel, but even as of I would say last week, I felt this matchup was almost unlosable. Like our cards are so good against them, and I thought it was embarrassing to lose this matchup. Now, fast forward to last night, and I lost a second time in four matches. I think that is unacceptable for what is supposed to be a Delver killer, which is our deck, or Tempo killer. And I thought about why we lost. Now we lost game one because we drew Atraxa in our opening hand, but the six was fine, and we got tempoed out. Something of note. Let me bring up. How's my audio, by the way? Let me bring up the microphone. Okay. Microphone's closer. Hopefully, it's better. Um, I thought about why we lost, and I think most people don't look at you know the way the deck lists are constructed enough, and the haymakers we traditionally have this matchup are endurance and snuff out. Now, snuff out is a little bit shaky when they really only like six threats, and one of which is like we only trade up one mana. Very good against Murktide, but it's like okay against DRC. But if they don't have that hand, they have a Cori-Steel, then the snuff out's kind of awkward. Now, endurance in particular looks very weak now in this matchup because yes, it can slow down DRC, but the DRC can reset itself, and you're trading three mana for one. It's okay against Murktide, but they only have two. The other thing about endurance is, oops, we don't really want to have too many three drops. And the other thing is, in game two in particular, so I went 1-1 against Tempo last night, and in the loss I had, I drew a hand of Snuff Outs and Endurance, and they had double Cori-Steel, and our hand just looked like it did not line up against theirs. I think Snuff Out is contrary to what you would assume. I feel like Snuff Out might be too important not to play because the matchups where you need Snuff Out is more important than the matchups where you need Endurance, which is awkward to say because we're in a Reanimator metagame. Now, I say that with quotations because I think the current iteration of Reanimator is kind of inconsistent. Like they only have five reanimation spells. They only have four ways to bend themselves. So like if you can stick a turn two threat, they probably just lose on the spot. Like I think they're kind of slow, like for lack of a better term. So how are we gonna rebuild this deck? The other thing is I wanted Atraxa Grand Unifier again because I think beating a deck like DNT is very difficult without it because they're just gonna muck up the ground, and especially something like an Esper Vial, which I played against last night. They're playing Baleful Strixen. You can't punish it because you can't go over the top. Like there's no way to punish them essentially ignoring your combo. So I think from a strategic point, natural order is kind of important. Now, do we need three? Maybe not. Like I won with Green Sun for 7. Uh, and maybe we can get away with making our deck as lean as possible against Reanimator and some of these other meta decks without losing points against like a DNT or some of these other decks that I would say are not fringe, but like not as common. Hey Chase, how's it going? Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. So I'm glad you're here in the chat, Chase. Something that I noticed was, and shout out to Chase who finished, I think, undefeated in the Swiss and went, I think, top 4 in the recent showcase. So actually, let me bring that up. Actually, now while I'm at it, so here's the second place list. But here's trusty Chase right here. You know, with their 10-1. So they did go undefeated in the Swiss. And as you notice, they played 3 natural order and Atraxa. Now, one difference, and it is a difference, is Chase has access to Force of Will. We have access to a pseudo Force of Will in Endurance. But the problem with that is Endurance is Force of Will only against combo, and probably even then, at best, like 75% of the time. It like doesn't do anything against Show and Tell, doesn't do it against Mystic Forge. Now, it's good in fair matchups, don't get me wrong, but like another reason why I wanted to re-explore the natural order package while playing without it for the last I would say 2-3 weeks. I don't know what it was. But Chase doing well tells me something must be right with the natural order package, right? And I don't know if we need all 3 natural orders, maybe 2 is enough, but I'm gonna do what is probably hyperbolic to some or extreme to some, but I think 3 might be the correct number of endurance too, because outside of Reanimator, it's actually kind of bad right now in the current metagame. Like if you look at the MTG Goldfish, if you look at MTG Goldfish, it's like good against Reanimator. Don't get me wrong, it's very good there, but only really the reanimation side. It's like shaky at best against Tamio. It's starting to be shaky here against Delver. It's very bad here against Moonstompy. It's okay against the Nethergoyf versions of Tempo. Good against Oops. Bad against Lands. Bad against Mystic Forge. Good against Doomsday. Bad against Sneaker Shot. That's a lot of bad that I'm hearing already, right? And like situationally okay against Painter, but probably being boarded out. Like that's not a lot of good endurance matchups outside of the main one. So maybe 3, and you don't want to draw multiples against some when it's bad. The other thing I noticed is Keen Eye Curator has been really good for me. The problem is in the matchups where it's not good, I don't really want to draw 2. So can we do better? And one of the reasons why I felt like I lost to Tempo for the 2 times out of the last 4 matches is they're going wide and they're almost becoming a combo deck with Cori-Steel. Let's go back. And again, let me know if my audio is coming in okay, or I'm too loud or not loud enough. And I think we want to be able to go underneath them and become a better combo deck than they are. Like they're trying to be a combo deck with Cori-Steel against our mid-range strategy that is typically good against. So I view every deck as a 2 hybrid deck now. Like this is no longer just Tempo; it's Tempo combo. And I think to line up well against that is we have to beat Tempo, which is mid-range, but mid-range loses to combo. So we want to be mid-range Tempo, if that makes sense. Or what beats combo is a slow combo deck is a faster combo deck. Namely, something like I joke half kiddingly, the combo in this deck is just Wily the Reliquary. 1 card combo win the game. Now, Safekeeper is like Feast or Famine. When it's good, it's absolutely bananas. The problem is you need to make it consistent. And how do we do that? We just played more premium 2-drops. So I think I want to add back the 3rd best 2-drop that we have access to, which is the best one is obviously Wily the Reliquary. It's the best creature in the deck by far. The second one is Keen Eye Curator, but again, situationally as good as Wily the Reliquary, but situationally kind of mediocre. And I think I want to shore that up with just two cats that give the combo element to the deck that doesn't require mana the way Curator does. Now you have a lot of mana. Curator's just the stone nuts, but you don't always have it. Especially if they force your turn one dork like they're supposed to. All right. So we rebuilt the main deck a little bit. The sideboard. What are we gonna do here? We have exactly 4 cards to board in for the package against Tempo, which means maybe we don't need Fairy Macabre anymore, but that's being a little bit naked against Reanimator. I guess against Tempo, we can board out these and board out the 4 stuff. 1 Fairy is fine. 4 Force of Vigor, that's probably fine. I think I like Force of Vigor in the current metagame. And then Saga and Needle. Maybe there's just no change needed to be to the sideboard, but I guess we can run it without take too much theory crafting on the sideboard here. But because the priority is to make sure we don't accidentally lose to Tempo like we did yesterday in terms of especially blue-red. Like blue-black's gonna be harder because Snuff Out is at best inconsistent. Like it can hit a turn 1 Tameo, but other than that, probably not many targets. But we'll try it. I'm not gonna try any extreme like illness in the ranks or yet. But shout out to Chase for doing well and then dropping by. For what it's worth, I did try porting Chase's tech of Molt Tender and I forgot the other name, like something Kishma. The Tender was okay, but the other card made your mana worse, and I didn't think it was worth it because the deck philosophy of Cradle is stick 1 threat and ride it to the finish line. It's almost like a Delver deck in that sense. Whereas the other card, you need a second card, right? Like this deck, if you look at it, if you squint, you really see a Tempo deck because it's just stick 1 threat and ride it to victory. It's the same idea. The exception to that rule is Safekeeper, but that's why we need to have enough premium threats to turn it on. All right, let's see if we can get battle tested here against Reanimator. Not Reanimator. I was gonna say Cori-Steel, but I think looks like we might be playing against Reanimator. Keep regardless. Marsh Flats. Okay. So I led with Hierarch because in case they have removal, I want to have access. I want to give them the non-black creature. And the reason why I didn't fetch basic into Hierarch is because if they have removal, then we can't cast white. Okay, looks like we're just gonna get comboed here. If they have it, nothing we can do, right? Like, okay, we're getting cheesed. So the way I play this matchup is I'm gonna play the percentages and dare them to beat me with a combo because I just don't respect that they're consistent. So I make sure I don't lose the fair matchups. I mean, the fair games. Now, maybe that encourages them to aggressively mulligan, but it is what it is. I think trying to respect their combo too much is gonna lose you. Is gonna put you at risk of losing the fair games, which I don't want to do. And I don't think I'm gonna mulligan this hand that has turned to white. We're just on the draw and we dare them to have the 16% chance of the combo turn 2, right? Because it's 40% for Entomb, 40% for Reanimate, more or less. So they force this. We'll play the Hierarch. Otherwise, we'll play the collective. I think we're probably dead because they have another Entomb, so they're gonna put Archon into play. Now, historically, we've been able to beat Atraxa, but not this early. Like we kind of have to be on the play, and then maybe there's a game, and especially if we have two talent gates, which we don't. But I don't think we're winning this game. Sure. What if they have force? Because if they don't, we're suddenly in the game. Sure. Also debatable whether we show them natural order. I mean, actually, we're gonna board it out anyway, so might as well. So they want to respect it for whatever reason. Maybe they, if they don't have force, maybe they dig for it here. Okay, I'm gonna well, not yet. I was gonna say I was gonna use a turn off the AC. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. Actually, maybe we're supposed. Actually, we don't even need to hold it. Do they have force? Yep. Okay, they do. What are we doing here? I think it's probably game now because we can only phase out one creature, and it would have to be the Archon because that deals 9. And then we go to 1, and then there's no way to for us to. I guess the only thing is we rip another natural is the only out. And even then, that doesn't work because we die to the Archon trigger the following turn for 3. Okay, so we're just dead. Well, actually, that's not true. No, we are dead because we are dead because they attack. At best, we can do is put in Atraxa and then they attack again. All right, so we're just dead. All right, I'm gonna turn off the AC because it's kind of cold. Something that's hard about this metagame, I think, is like because of Reanimator's meta share, it is in everybody else's best interest to not use the graveyard. All right, Fairy's good. I think I want Seize. Maybe only 3 copies. Uh, and then dare them to see if they can beat our fair plan with some disruption, I guess, right? The cards that we're playing instead of the fourth endurance is like Psycho Cat and the Safekeeper. We have so one thing I talked about earlier is having enough 2-drop threats. That the more threats you have, the stronger Safekeeper is gonna be. Sure, this looks very good. I think we're gonna go turn 2, try to slam Keen Eye Curator with Cradle mana and lock up the game. If we have a resolve Keen Eye protected by Safekeeper on turn 2, I think the game is over. we have like a potential. I wouldn't call it nut draw because it doesn't beat force, I guess, right? But like, it's pretty good if your opponent can't do anything about it. Like, I'm almost. I think I would say with decent certainty that if we have a protected Kenai turn 2, it's probably game over. Which is why I was mentioning like I want a premium number of 2 drops. I'm gonna play a second safekeeper, which I kind of want to do anyways. I want to play as many 1 drops as possible because there's a Guy's Cradle deck. Seize, Tamio, Seize. Okay. They probably take the Kenai because I think that's the strongest threat there. Oh, interesting. They take the Safekeeper. I would not have guessed that. But I guess they're scared of me top decking. I don't know. Wide of the Reliquary or something. I want to play the Cradle probably. I'm not gonna respect the combo here. I'm gonna pretend as if I have. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. I have shields up anyways with Kenai. You're gonna waste me? Sure. Probably the Fatal Push. That's why they gave me this. That would be my guess. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine with me. Do we want to get this countered here? There's White of the Reliquary. But the Bog is in our hand. So I almost think like the Kenai might be better here. So we don't accidentally lose to their actually, it still might be correct to take white for what it's worth. It's just that if you take white, you're not protected against a combo. So that might have been a mistake on my behalf. Yeah, okay. I think I overthought it. Like again, respecting their combo too much. I think I should take white there because white means if you don't kill it on sight, you're not gonna kill it. Tossies. Okay. Interesting. I think I'm gonna keep one up because we have the mana advantage. Because we don't like all of the relevant things are in our graveyard, so we want to do it on our terms. Yeah, let's do that. The funny thing about this is if we had taken the Wily Reliquary, it would actually have lined up poorly against the Keen Eye that they reanimated. So like in this case, taking the Keen Eye with the mana advantage that we have is gonna work out better for us than if we had taken the white, because then we can attack, right? There's a 3/3 on the other side that's potentially gonna grow because the bog's already used up. They only have one. I wonder if they're trying to reanimate a safekeeper here, which would be very annoying. But there's two reanimates in the yard already. I'm gonna go for it, see what they do. That's okay. It's okay by me. They're tapped out right now. I think we want, well, I think we want to be able to eat their reanimate, or yeah, their or at least their ponder. In hindsight, we didn't need to probably either reanimate then and there, but or if we do, maybe we cast the endurance first. card we care about here is we have instant and whatever already. I think we need to get creature in the yard. Here is question is like, do we give them the chance to get something here? Probably not, because we have a lot of mana anyways. We're gonna win in this curator match because we have more mana than they do, and the number of cards is the same now. Like they're a little bit tied up. They're never gonna be able to turn this on if we play tight. We almost have lethal too. It would be at 8. I don't know what they're thinking about. Come on. They're like 4 minutes behind on clock already. They lost connection. All right, I guess that's time for me to get water. Force the endurance. Pitched. Ponder. Do we care? We're not gonna let you get the ponder. We have so much mana. They're not gonna be able to power us. And especially if they don't block here, then we could just leave mana up. Okay. Question here is, what are we afraid of? I guess maybe a Murktide Regent. They have one card in hand, so we just take the Reanimate. That's probably the let's take the Brainstorm in case we draw another Kenai. Leave 2 mana up in case they have a waste. I think we've already won. We're gonna deal 1,000,000 next turn. game, right? 6 plus another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana? No. How much mana is that? Yeah, it's like I said, game already. I love it when they try to reanimate my stuff. Like usually, it's not that I've never lost to it. It's rare. Like I feel like they're playing right into our game plan. Like our creatures are better than theirs, and we can use our creatures better than they can use ours. I love it when they try to reanimate my stuff. Like like we just saw both sides at a keen eye. One side was able to just use it better. And then cat is like embarrassing for them to use. I think endurance, same thing. Yeah. 4 lands, but an Thoughtseize. I feel like this is the kind of hand if I keep, I'm gonna get punished. But I feel like we kind of have to keep. Like if this is a 6, I guess we're keeping, but it's not great. Seize? Okay, sure. They're either gonna take our cat or our Thoughtseize. We'll see. Again, mulling a 6, Seize feels even worse, right? Ooh, that is a hell of a draw. Ugh, okay. I'm glad I didn't mull, right? Like, I think they have the curator here. Oh, they take the cat. That's interesting. Oh my god. Don't daze me, bro. What are we doing here? The curator won't be online yet. I think Cat's correct because it gets the triggers next turn, and then the curator will survive. Like I'll have a curator online, is what I'm saying, and the cat will grow like naturally. So that's actually why I split 3-2 because I didn't want to draw 2 Key9 and it's like kind of awkward on mana. Like then I could just lead with Cub, right? Like this is more of a late game. Okay, that could happen, I guess. This is the third Thoughtseize though. But I didn't want to run it into days too. And we hadn't, I don't know if they keep in days, maybe they don't. I don't know. I think we're gonna bog to play around a potential Murktide region. Uh, if they have the push, then it just doesn't matter for the cat. Ooh, that is a hell of a card. I mean, we're dead to the combo regardless. Like, so we're just gonna go with the better creature. What are they doing here? EE on 2. Okay, they're just dead, I think. All right, we have 10 damage. I mean 9 damage. I think they're just dead. Yep. They just realized the writing's on the wall. All right, that played out very well. And how I wanted, the two drops to interact. Like again, I don't really. We're like, I've always thought this, but I don't really advertise it. I always think getting the last 5% of a deck is significantly harder than getting like the 50 to 75%. Like the tuning, coming with an idea, I think is not that hard. I think getting the last few percentage points out is very difficult, and that played out the way I hoped it would, which is like I love this card. I just don't really want to draw too early and just like not have the mana. And Cat, while I think is the weaker card, it is more efficient. So we split there and had 1-1, and it worked out the way I wanted. Right, I play the Cat, and they have to deal with it more or less, or they didn't. And then the Curator they discarded. I don't remember exactly the exact order, but again, I prefer this card. But if I'm gonna draw multiples, I'd rather have a split. Um, and we weren't punished by only playing 3 endurance because we had the fourth graveyard here in the sideboard. I'm using the great restroom real quickly. All right, let's start the new league. Not the new league. The next match as I get water. Slow BRZ. Slow Brothers. They actually, I think, play a lot of. I think they play a lot of tempo historically. So we'll see if we finally get our test our Cori-Steel innovations or adaptations, I should say. Reasonable enough. Another thing is, like I said, I don't. Again, I went to 3 because I don't really want to see multiple endurance, and I don't really want to see multiple keen eyes early. Uh, One is like too situational. The other one is mana intensive. Ooh, they're playing this deck. Never would have thought that. This matchup is one that is very good for what's it called, Kenai. Terrible for endurance. The reason why it's good for Keenan is because it's very easy to turn on Pseudo Delirium. I don't really care about that card. I don't even know. I forgot what this does. Guess it works really well with Thoughtcast and the other thing. Yeah, they're speaking of which. Sure. Like I sure am glad I'm playing for Force Vigor for this nonsense. I might be dead. Jesus. One of these days, I just wish people get punished by Chalice. One of these days. Oh man. Alright. We're likely gonna have to chump. So that's why I'm just like playing all one drops. I think we're dead. Their hand was just too fast. So like I said, we're almost certainly gonna have to chump. Why are they playing that card? All right. This here doesn't matter who we. Oh my god. They just have like straight up turn 3 lethal. That's kind of well. We're gonna lose our board, so I guess technically not. But we don't even have our natural order out here, which is awkward. All right. That's 12. Even if we're gonna. I guess it doesn't matter. We had our thing, but we drew the attract. Oh my god. Oh, this is that meme, right, where you're smoking and just like can't believe it. This is the out too, but we have the attraction in our hand. Um, and then here we have to play 3 to block the flyer. And then even then, you have one other chump block. We're just dead. Okay. Oh, unfortunate. Very unfortunate. All right. Force of Vigor is just a bomb in this matchup. Snuff out. I guess it's good against that other thing that grew as well. In terms of just dog water. Uh, Cat is too slow. I think in this matchup, I think their creatures grow too fast. Kenai is okay. It's a little slow. What are we cutting here? Maybe one Kenai because it's a little slow, and then maybe a forest because they're not a wasteland deck. Yeah, I think we're gonna have trouble turning on that cat in time because of how fast their hands at least appear to me. Like Kenai, like with a couple of mana, you can have like a 7/7 already. I don't think this is gonna be like big enough in time. And we're like almost never cutting this card. So something I've noticed too is like why I wanted to add at least a partial natural order package again is I have not faced against a cage in a while, and I wonder if people have scouted our list and just think, oh, it's not worth bringing in if they only have four Green Suns and I guess some Arbors, right? But I'm gonna make it harder on my opponent to decide. Okay, it's a guessing game. Are you gonna bring in Cage or not? And if you do, there's a good chance it doesn't do anything, right? Especially if I board out the natural order. Why my opponent has not submitted their deck yet? I think I have to keep this, but it's like very all in, but whatever. It's very reactive hand. But I guess Force would just pitch Force here. I wish I had a 2-drop. Ugh, that's what I get for boarding them out. But argument to be made. Maybe the 2-drops are better than the natural order package. It didn't even occur to me that, but thing is, like the Keen Eye just feels so slow, or it doesn't feel like it's gonna be enabled on time. If that makes sense. Now, maybe in this case, I like it would have been the cat would have been okay, right? Go fetch into fetch. It's a 4/4 and then an 8/8. Yeah, maybe the cat's okay. Just seeing the way it's playing out here. Oh, they're a wasteland deck. Interesting. Never mind what I said about the cat. Like suddenly the cat looks a lot worse here, right? Okay. Interesting. I think I'm gonna try to just hit their mana here. Like, I don't want them to get mana by playing like the that land see the synod. I think I'm just gonna go for it. Just blow up their stuff. Now they have no mana. Okay. We hit any land here. Natural order is getting Atraxa. Okay. Interesting. That's pretty damn good too. So they just lose the land for no reason here. I think this game might be over. You kidding me? Wow. Okay. You got to be kidding me. What are they gonna get? All right, bobble. You need to draw. Like they're losing lands here. Yep, that makes sense. Any land. Yep, there it is. No hesitation. Just do it now. All right. Yeah. That's lights out. So I don't know if they run Cage or not in their current list. Sometimes they're afraid of our deck. Um, the cat, I feel like if they have a construct hand, probably gets outsized by outside of these like wombo combo setup with reclaim returns that we have, and if we have that, maybe the game has gone long enough for us to win anyways. Um, Curator. Never felt like we had mana in that game at least. Maybe the cat's is better than the curator here. It's like very mana centric the matchup. It's easy for us to turn on the raccoon, but it's just whether it's worth it. Maybe not. Sure. Number 5. I think they're in trouble. Well, we don't have a threat, so maybe we have to draw a threat and then we're in business. That aside, not a bad hand here. We're probably just gonna force whatever they do first. This is a card I truly underappreciated for a long time, and the more I play with it, the more I just think it's an absurd card. All right, what is our opponent gonna do here? Sea of the Synod. Hey Eli, how's it going? So the question is like whether to hit their land. I would guess no, but we'll see. Maybe I'm greedy. Go for the 2 for 1. All right. I'm getting this though. Maybe they fluster. I don't know. Okay, so we wasted the mana and nothing else. Like they could have done last turn. That would have been great if we had it, but say la vie, right? So the question here is the 2 damage worth it? It would have been. I was trying to be mean. I know, Eli. That see, it never pays to be mean. It's kind of mean to double Stone Rain our opponent right there on upkeep. I wonder if the damage is worth more than the creature. Probably. Maybe they waste us too. I don't know. Like, not that it would have mattered. Sure. At least we don't have to worry about constructs yet. That's annoying though. I'm not liking where this game is suddenly going. We have blanks in our hand. Our opponent is. I don't know how good their hands are, but they can cycle. They have two onboard cycles. That doesn't bode well for us. A lot of draw cards in a. I guess Bowmaster is kind of like on the decline. Okay, that's quite a card. Mm, I think I want to do it this way. So here's a trick. I have two lands, and I know I want to maximize my counters. If I go, so the best way to do that is, well, let me think about that. If we go, if I remember correctly, it's better to leave with a one because you can't double anyways, and then the next turn you go to two and then four. Otherwise, you're gonna go to one, two, and then three counters. So it doesn't make any sense. Let's pass or attack. So how many? That's a 4/4. Okay. Guess we'll see. Which actually the cat's gonna get huge because of the hierarchs too. Worth noting, the raccoon is pretty big here too. Whatever that's worth. That's pretty annoying though. Okay, this short mana at least. That was one of the pitfalls of the hand we kept. It was very threat light. What do we have in our sideboard that we didn't keep in? I'm not sure. Like this is all reasonable. It's just that we have kind of a heavy mana hand. The raccoon is like I said, decent or would have been okay here. They have boots and spear. That feels like overkill to me, but I could be wrong. Okay, that's a bomb. Better lucky than good. We'll say that. So it becomes a 6/6, and then it'll get two more. So it'll become an 8/8. It would trade, unfortunately, at this juncture. 'Cause, 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 'cause 8-8. I don't think I want to trade. They want to attack with their construct. Like, be my guess. It would trade in a bad way. We can hard cast a Traxxas for what it's worth here. Is that worth blocking right now? Probably not. I don't think we have like any evasion, right? With our collector oof in board. Just take the 7. That's fine. It's pretty good too. They can make another token. Unfortunately, oh, that's so annoying. I think we're gonna try to wombo combo kill them. Just pass. Sure. They're gonna needle, I think, the Wild Reliquary here. What did they put it in? Petal? Oh, did they just not have a needle? Hmm. Definitely blocking at least one. Debatable whether we're supposed to block the other one. They could have that flyer, which would be super annoying. And make sure there's no random evasion that I'm not aware of. Sure. We can't do anything just yet. But next turn, I think we can. I think we have the kill, but I just need to be careful. I think we just block with 2 of them. We'll save the Talon Gates. I think that's still in our deck, right? Yeah. The lair doesn't do anything here. And we want to make sure we can double I think we're gonna upkeep fetch. Actually, do we want to? No. In case we don't draw a land, we actually want to do it at the same time as the Water Reliquary activation. So, no, we don't. So, how big can this get right now? If we phase out the construct, this is gonna be 6. Sorry, it's It's gonna be 6 and then double it plus the high arc. They would have to block. If we send the whole team, what is that? Okay, math. Now it's math, right? We attack with all. Pump the thing to an 8/8. Pitch again, and it's. I think so too, but I just want to make sure I don't like screw up here. It becomes an 8/8. Phase the thing out. We're gonna get 6 more. It's gonna be a 14/14. They chump. We phase the other thing out. I think it's lethal. So somebody once wiser than me said, math is for blockers. I forgot how nice it is to do this actually. Okay, it's lethal by a lot. Yeah, see they block here. I mean, it's no surprise, you know, Eli, who's a goblin expert, would know that this is lethal, right? Because I think of all the the you want to call it the tribes, the what is it called? I forgot the new term now. That's replaced tribal kindred decks. You think it would be worth playing 1 to 2 exploration? Absolutely not. I don't think we have enough lands. Absolutely not. I don't think the land count's high enough to play exploration. And we don't have any like recursive thing. I believe it. I believe it. As somebody who's played some EDH goblins, the math is definitely a lot more complicated than anything we're doing here. Like us, it's not nothing, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like anywhere of the level of, like the goblin math. Ours is like just exponential math, if that makes sense. Like we just gotta make sure. Oh, is this lethal? Whereas goblins, you have like I used to play like Mog Raider and like things like that. There's all kinds of like, crazy tricks you can do. Oh, what's it called? Like sharpshooter, and like the skirk math. There's definitely more combat, I would say, math than the us. I think the mana math is a little maybe weighs in the Cradle favor only because of Cradle itself, right? But as far as combat, I think Goblin's got us beat there. Let me get some water. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I really like that card a lot. The I forgot what battle cry goblin. It's innocuous. It plays out so much better than it actually is. And I think when it was in standard at the time, I was when people were drafting at the time. I remember seeing that card, and a lot of people telling me that that card was like a draft all star, and I can see why it's like really good in goblins. And I think my favorite goblin is probably Skirk. So you don't have to convince me on that. Although I have a soft spot for the Doctor. Ugh. All right, that's the Automole. Yeah. Oh, we have to put one back. Ugh. Uh, what are we putting back here? I don't know what they're on. Oh, I believe it. That card has always impressed me in Dual Commander. I typically would pull back Safekeeper. Well, one has to be ramp, right? So yeah, let's put back the Safekeeper. I don't like keeping Safekeeper when I'm on a 6. Although against this matchup now, I wish I had kept. No matter. All right, we're just straight up rewarded. Just keep it now, right? Yeah, like I said, on a 6, I don't really like keeping Safekeeper because you actually need something else to pair with. Like if they force your threat, suddenly Safekeeper looks kind of bad. Ugh. Okay. I wonder if they play Solitude. I don't know their current list. Hey, how's it going? I guess we just play it. They're not gonna force this, I don't think. Yeah, 2 Safekeepers today. Okay, they forced that. Makes sense, I guess. That card's like unbeatable for control. Yeah, Solitude is like a card that I'm. It's just like, should I play around it? Usually, I can't afford to. In this case, don't think they're gonna force the Reclaimer, which is why I led with it. Like, I'd rather them force the Reclaimer than the Safekeeper. Sure. I mean, I guess. Hmm. So, question here is: do I try to get a Safekeeper and ride it to victory? I feel like it will probably go the distance. Oh my god, they have another one? Okay, I guess. I guess. See what they do here. Sure. I guess they have 2 forces gone already. How annoying. Safekeeper's supposed to resolve. Uh, we technically have everything in the yard for us too. So let's see. That's hard to beat. That is hard to beat. Like four Beanstalk into force and then Leyline bind. Like I think we're just hosed now. What the heck are we gonna do when they have double force? I think we're gonna just get grinded out by this beans now that has drawn them twice or 3 times, I guess, with its own trigger. Pretty unfortunate. I don't think there's anything we could have done differently. It's just like we can't beat force back by like grind engine, but it is what it is. Ooh, we gotta do this though. Luckily, you take the small wins, right? We're probably losing this game. I'll be honest. Like I don't expect to win this game the way it's played out so far. Like we needed them to not have a second force. Like I needed that safekeeper to resolve. We're all in right now. It's debatable whether we're supposed to play the hierarch for to give them information. Maybe we're supposed to hold. I don't know. I would love chat's opinion on that. Are we supposed to hold the noble hierarch there? Is that fourth air lingus? Yeah, I think you just play it out. Like I don't know what holding the noble gets you there. Like I don't. I'm not even sure they play around anything to be honest. Like maybe they attack with two instead. I don't know. I think we're just stone cold dead. Um, yeah, I don't think we're that wasn't the issue. That's the sweeper. It's just whether the information was worth it. But like I said, I think we're dead. We gave it a go. We really needed them to, like I said, not have the second force. Or if they have two forces, don't have it like backed by the beanstalk, right? I don't mind if they have two forces and just like him themselves twice, but like well, that's a card. We're gonna go for the Hail Mary here. I think it's exactly 8. I actually don't think so. Oops. Oh, I messed up. Ooh. Why did they even cast that? What is going on? They're 4 mana up. I don't know what's going on. That our opponent is misplaying and we can't punish it. They pitched a brainstorm for no reason. I guess that was one thing the Hierarch did. It allowed us to cast the Green Sun for 7. But like I said, we're just drowning now against this. Um, I think maybe 2 more draw steps. They did exhaust all their forces, whatever that's worth. The problem here is like how are we ever getting through? And the minute somebody wants me to concede, I'll concede. For in interest of time. Let me know when I should pack it up. Something crazy is going on. Oh, that might be it. That might be the cue there. 7, and they probably have swords or binding still in their hand. No chance. Roll the bones. Just pack it up here. Like, that's game. 2 away. They're like half their deck is like gone. Presumably they have, actually I put the forces back into their deck, so there's no way. Yeah, they're just dead here. All right. What are we doing? Maybe there's some alternate timeline where we get out of that, but again, I don't want to waste people's time. I don't think endurance really does anything in this matchup. I think we just play this and call it a day. I see a lot of people who pick up this deck and they board in Saga. Saga is not for the control matchup. For those who are curious, Saga is strictly for the combo matchup. Oh, I take that back. There is one other use case for Saga that's not. There are some matchups, especially with the non-natural order version, where you need a board in Saga to turn on Delirium for Kenai. That is like a thing. Ooh, that's a hell of a card. Especially since we're gonna potentially high roll this with the safekeeper turn too. This is why I want 2 safekeepers, because there's so many greedy players. There's so many greedy players that want to leave the turn 1 dork, and then you just get super punished if I just go turn 2 safekeeper threat. You just lose the game. Right? They're gonna swords it here, but like yeah, not now they're the waste of force because they got greedy, right? I don't think it's good enough. I like it looks kind of interesting, like maybe an EDX card or something. All right, what are we gonna get here? I mean, presumably they. Ooh. We don't have delirium yet. One of the tough parts is like I know they have removal. Should I just play the Kenai to waste their mana, and then they maybe they kill it? I don't know. Okay, just removal dot deck. That's fine. They force this. Jesus Christ. Lost 3 whites already. Or 2, I guess. How many removal spells are they going to have? This type of deck, I think, doesn't beat anything besides really, like, Delver. I think they're like a super dog to combo. Alright, we're going to bash for 8 now. I think shields are down. We don't have the removal. At least for 1 turn. Let's see. Woo, that is a good card. We take the brainstorm or the beanstalk here. That is tough. Tough. Brainstorm lets them dig deeper, but if they left a removal spell on top, which I think they probably would do, right? I'm like we get super punished if they have a leyline biting on top, and then we give them the beanstalk. I think we take the threat, and our top decks are better than theirs. Take the swords. Yeah, I also think beanstalk is the correct call there. Stock up probably. Land. And then take the beanstalk and then grow it. Like I said, we get super punished if they left leyline binding on top. We are 2-0, but down a game here. We're 2-0, but down a game here. Sure. Yeah, the swords. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't think that was correct. Are you kidding me? Okay. What are we doing here? Like, I don't think we want to trade, right? So we tack here. They gain 3, go to 8. We green sun for Keen Eye, and they're on essentially a 1-turn clock. I don't think I hate it. I don't think I hate that. Oops, cancel. That's not right. They're on a 1 turn clock here. Because even if they attack, right, like... Geez, they're just... Their brains are just, like, insane. I guess maybe it's good, right? Like, they could just done beans into solitude us anyways, and then draw. Or, like, hardcast, I don't know. I need to think about it more. I feel like it was correct to still not tell me they have another. What, oh my god! Sure. Uh, Fourth Aerlingus it is. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm afraid of, or leyline binding specifically. Okay, we're gonna just like sweep their board here, which is sweet. Take their swords. Take their. Do they just not have lands left? What is going on? There it is. And that safekeeper doing work in the garbage can here. I think we keep that in hand in case it matters. See, this is why Kenai is so much better than this Cub. Sure. Do nothing card. Please don't tell me they rolled. Okay. If they bind me here, I'm just gonna flip out. Okay. Like their draws otherwise would have just been nuts, like 8 in a row, right? All right. Question here is like, how do we board? I mean, do we want solitude? I mean, not solitude. Freudian slip here. I think you might have been right. I don't remember. I thought binding. Did they just not have black mana? I thought they had all the colors. Like, so yeah, I think you might be right. I didn't think they had it black. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, what are we doing here? Do I want Bog in this kind of matchup where the only thing I'm really afraid of is endurance? Sorry, not endurance. Uro is the tutoring worth it to shut down Uro? Or do I rather have the first endurance as just another threat? I feel like the threat's probably more relevant. I'm just gonna not respect Uro. Like my logic is, by the time Uro is in play, I probably should have lost a wand anyways. There's merit for like Force of Vigor, but I hate situational cards like that. Like my logic is like, if they have Uro, I would have lost anyways. This is a mole. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to go to 5. Yeah, I do have Raccoon. Raccoon is just the stone. No, I just think you need curve out threat, hope to win by turn 4 or so. They have like a million removal, but can we win on 5? This one, if Arbor gets plowed, we probably just lose. So I think we have to. Oh my god. All right, I guess we're losing this match. I think it's that actually. This is highly disappointing. Okay, that helps. something. So we're gonna try to go take their removal into threat, and hope that's enough. Yikes. Okay. Have to take the swords, right? They dress down. Does it matter? Maybe not. Yeah. I feel like we take the swords, right? Like, and if they want to pitch a card to solitude, then it is what it is. Ooh. You got a good point. I didn't even think about that. But that's kind of scary. Ugh. I didn't think about that, but Eli, I'm a little scared now. Yeah, yeah, that's luckily. What is the plan here? I think it's cat, like have it eat a removal spell, and then next turn go for Wily Reliquary. Even better. Even better. Even better. I think they're gonna Earl here. Ooh, they're gonna do that. I thought they were gonna go Earl, which prices me into Kenai to eat the Earl, and then actually Earl doesn't even work, right? Because they can't. They have a planes. How funny is that? I think we go for the Haymaker here. That stock up is gonna be uh tough to beat, I think though, because the problem is we won a five, but like the seven was five lands, and then even with bog boarded out, which is okay, that's to be expected, I guess. Again, I think we forced the hand, right? Like they have to like chain. Well, actually, they can hard cast Solitude. That's a little dangerous now that I think about it. We might be screwed though because they can go like land Solitude and we're just effed. But just hope they don't have it. Hope they have it. What? Oh God. Yeah, we're effed here. Nothing we could have done in the terms of gameplay. I think we played it correctly. The problem was we moved a five. Like, what are we gonna do? And I thought about keeping that six. The problem is that they have removal, so we probably just lose. Here we play the Kenai. It's gonna eat the Earl. Maybe it's tough. It's tough. Okay, they four. Okay, we're just effed here. The problem is the odds of getting that land are low because well, I guess we have one draw step. It's probably like between Once Upon a Time and the 14 lands, it's probably like 33%. Yeah, I mean, especially against this kind of hand, right? Like, and our five wasn't even great. It was like a below average five, but we can't go to four. It is what it is. I'm okay with the gameplay that we had. Now it's arguable whether we're supposed to keep the six and hope to get lucky. I think the decision was fine. You can argue it one way or another. How bad is it they kill Arbor and you draw a land? Pretty bad because they're on 2 lands and we're on 0. I do, but I feel like in this matchup, you're probably not afforded the time, right? Like you don't really want the game to go late. It's you can probably do it more if you're on the play, first of all, and maybe if you're like the the control, not the beatdown. But when we're on the draw and we're the beatdown, I don't think we're afforded. I think you probably just lose if you make that play. All right, we're just doomed. I think, right? Did it? I don't even think they cast Solitude yet. Jeez. If somebody just says the word, I'll concede. I just don't see how we're getting out of this outside of like spiking a natural order. Scoop them up. All right, there it is. Yeah, I don't see how we're winning this. Like we drew what 2 cards right now? Okay, so they probably just ignore this. They draw another card. We draw the white. Try to bait them out of getting the curator. They draw one off the beans, and then they draw 2 more. Yeah, it's probably just doomed. Um, I think so far I've liked the way that the deck has felt for whatever that's worth. Did we ever natural order? We did actually. We want to match off natural order Atraxa. So I think I don't hate so far at least 2-1 split. Traditionally three's been the magic number for natural order because you want to see it. I think in this metagame, natural order is actually a little worse. The problem is against some of these control decks, DNT, just like random, not random, but you know what I mean, not the decks you think of when you think of like what to prepare for. You have a hard time beating some of these like board stall decks that like muck up the ground without natural order, like to go over the top. And from a strategic standpoint, if they know they don't have to respect it, they can just play like completely differently. No, I don't think so. Keep. I don't think control is enough of the meta to play a very specialized card like Under Mountain. And if I do play a specialized card, I don't want it to be a 4 drop. Like I want like I have a general rule that all my sideboard cards need to be able to be cast for 0 or 1 mana. What are we doing here? Are we playing around Wasteland? Probably not. Actually, we have one dork here and not another fetch, so probably can't afford to play around removal. I kind of wish we had a turn for decks that just see play regardless of relative viability. I actually think combo in general, like Storm in particular, like the Storm people, I feel like will always play Storm. I think the Doomsday player, not to out you or anything, will always play Doomsday. I think Killer B is always gonna play Storm, like regardless, or like Tony, like some of my podcast members. Sure. I think Yoshiwada is gonna play DNT no matter what too. Yeah, I think combo in particular, their fan base loves it a lot, and I don't blame them. Like it's a lot of fun. They took arguably the worst card. I don't know what is going on. They actually the worst card would have been High Art, but I don't know why you don't take the Green Sun. I think we take one of the Reliquary here. In paper, you're gonna get a lot of extra DNT. DNT, I understand. Like it's a solid deck and it has been for a long time. There's no reserve list cards. It's the most like other formats, so you can probably pick it up with relative. I wouldn't say ease is the right word, but like the play patterns are they make sense. Maybe that's the best way to say it. For what it's worth, I actually enjoyed. Maybe I don't know about the the Yorion versions. Like I guess they're fine, but I enjoy DNT play, which is my second deck I ever picked up for what it's worth. I believe it. I believe it, Eli. Yeah, leagues are just. I don't know what it is. I feel like I attract all the Pox players. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I just somehow in leagues attract all the Pox players, and I just feel like I just wasted my life after like a 45-minute match, even though I won. Even though I won. Let's bash, I guess. Oh, two of them. How funny. Mystic Forge. I get it. Like not every league, but for maybe every other league, it's pretty popular for sure, and I do think it's very good. Yeah, Ugin's pretty good. I think they have like I've seen anywhere from like 1 to 3 copies, but definitely like one is I think fairly common. I think. Yeah, I don't know why people like ignore that deck. I think that deck attracts a lot of the players who typically would be on like black red, if that makes sense. Like that maybe is not super familiar with all the other decks with legacy and doesn't want to be familiar. Like maybe they're like a modern player that wants to play a non-interactive deck, but then doesn't want to hit all the splat. But then is a good naturally good player, so you don't want to play like Oops, which is more like a mulligan fest. And they want to leverage some of their like tricks that they've learned or skill that they leverage from other formats. Maybe that's the best way to explain. Whereas Oops is more like I don't know how much you're leveraging from other formats. Yeah, I mean for sure. I think Force of Vigor is just really good in this new metagame because I've always been like high on Moonstomping. I thought like for a long time it was like 2022. It was arguably the best deck in the format, and people just didn't realize it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Levi. All right, what are we doing here? I think yeah, like I said, I like Force of Vigor a lot right now, only because with I like it's good against Moonstomping, especially with the Saga change. All right, what do we? I think we're just bashing with both, right? I don't think we're afraid of anything. What, what did we see so far? Like go for the throw, just like random nonsense. Okay, I got turn 3 Ugin after blowing up Grim on turn 2. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Like, I think Ancient Tomb. I mean, maybe I don't even know if this is minority anymore, but I think Ancient Tomb is the best card legacy personally. Maybe that's a wild take, but my gut feeling is Ancient Tomb is the best card legacy. Yeah, maybe it's not a hot take anymore. It used to be. I think most people would have said it was Brainstorm, but like I don't think Brainstorm is the best card in Legacy. I think to me the best card in Legacy is the ones that cheat on mana, and Tomb cheats the most. Like Cradle cheats as well, but it's more built around. Um, I mean for a while it did, right? To be fair, I mean also to be fair, Tomb is in Moonstomping. I think Moon is like one of the best decks. I think it's in Forge, which is one of the best decks. Yeah, yeah. I think that one thing is completely broken. I hate that it was printed. The stupid planar nexus card. I think that card just made the it too easy for some of these like forge decks. I think Entomb is broken for what it's worth. I think black the best cards are like in some order. Seas, Dark Ritual, and Entomb. In some order. Yeah, I absolutely hate Planar Nexus that it was printed. Uh, yeah, I think that's true, Levi. The Tomb is the best card in the Tomb deck. What do we even see from our opponent? Like, what the heck is going on? What do they cast? Dark Ritual, Fatal Push into Go for the Throat. Some kind of weird mid-range black deck. Honestly, I don't even know what they're doing, so I don't even know how to board in this case. Um, Feels like they're probably on ring, so maybe keep the collector oof to be in safe. I don't like to board in seas. I didn't really see any creatures. But then actually, no creature is probably reason to board in the seas. Now that I think about it, and I feel like maybe they have some kind of combo. I don't know. We didn't see any creatures, so that was like the awkward part. Maybe just board out bog. What else is tomb? There's a disentomb the card. Okay, I'm hating life here, drawing all my thoughts. Yeah, I think my top five, like brainstorm. I don't know. It probably makes it, but not by much. That's probably a wild take. It probably makes it, but not by much. Like I think spending mana is a real cost. I think ponder is like not very good anymore. Personally, I a lot of times I play against tempo. I go turn one Dork, they go turn one ponder. I think the game is over. Tamio is the best creature in Legacy Mind. I don't know if it's better than DRS. That's a I believe it's maybe the best. I think White's really good for what it's worth. I'm biased. It's more build, and then I think Fleshbreaker is personally really good too. So those are like obviously the Modern Horizons theme there, right? Uh, okay, I'm gonna get a. What am I getting here? We have a 2-drop, and I think I just want to land here. One of those That's true. That's true. I feel like we need to play it safe and just like see what's up with their hand. I'm a little afraid that we haven't seen much. I don't even know what this does. It's a Dark Confidant. Interesting. Bowmasters and push. I guess I take the push. Interesting. I don't know. I don't think I would rather Deathfry Shaman not be unbanned personally. I think Green's identity is three different things, and I would hate to give it to other colors. The three things I think is Green as identity is ramp, graveyard hate, and artifact hate. And then to give all two of those three things to black, I think would be kind of bad from a color pie perspective. Waste me, sure. I think I'm gonna do this and hope they miss on lands. They probably did not, but whatever. If they want to bowmaster me, I like don't care. They're like by all means welcome to bowmaster me. Like they're spending 2 mana to kill my 1 mana thing. Need to hit land drop though. Yeah, I don't know. I think people need to build their decks differently, but I'm maybe I'm biased. I think people just refuse to play like flexible graveyard hate. Like nobody plays Hearse for some reason. Nobody like the green decks. I think do well because we get to play endurance and obviously, but and like some of these green creatures like Reclaimer and white. I don't know about Ban Bowmaster. I actually think Bowmaster is like good for the meta personally, but yeah, her to me her seems pretty good right now, but like nobody wants to play it for some reason. What in the world are draws? Jeez. All right, I guess we're just dead. Well, yeah, we're probably just dead. Ugh, this is so awkward. I have to take that confidant, otherwise I'm gonna die to it. I'm gonna take a million right now. Yeah, hers. Like I said, okay. This is a plug with you know, yeah. Okay, we're gonna declare defeat here. So unsolicited. I'm gonna plug Andreas Peterson here. Echo Baronin. His metagame Monday, I think, is like really, really well done. He has these videos on Monday that essentially focuses on like the most recent one. I think was a showcase, top 32. But he usually has like 40 decks for every week, and I think he does a really good job of explaining like what is like how to attack the meta, right? Like ins you want incidental graveyard hate, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but like he brought it up like when I won the showcase in March. Um, like a 4 endurance deck that gets to play endurance for value, right? Like that's like one way of attacking the metagame where endurance by itself is already a good card. And same thing with like unlicensed hers, like some of these like cards that can fit towards your game plan, but not be like a dedicated slot in the sideboard, if that makes sense. Yeah, so the thing is, I haven't really seen the Tomb decks play Hearst, and you can play it main deck. So like, so that is a thing. But I don't know. Like, all right, what do we see here? We saw a whole bunch of their creatures now. I don't think, given that we saw their creatures, I don't like seas as much. I think we're just gonna go back to their our own creatures, right? And just like we felt like we were getting templed out there. Why are we short a card here? 13. Oh, Bog. As another, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just in general, like some of these cauldron decks, I think maybe okay too. Like if it fits towards your game plan. Let's keep something I also find interesting is I know a lot of people are hating because they said the only reason why I was able to win that showcase was because I'm heavy what's it called, a meme deck, so to speak, right? You got the 4 endurance main deck, but like that's like saying, oh, you're that's cheap for playing Swords to Plowshares because people are playing creatures. Like, why wouldn't you want to play Swords to Plowshares or any removal in general? So I don't understand that logic. Like, I don't think it's cheap. Hey, how's it going, Everin? Thank you for the raid. Like, for instance, if Storm were a very popular, like, why wouldn't you hedge towards Storm? So I that to me that's like unfair criticism, but that's neither here nor there. I think that might change how I'm making this play here. I think in the event there's like a random ponder or something, or like a pedal. What are we missing here? I think I want to make Cub a 4/4, just in case, so I can kill the Bargoy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think Ponder is very good personally. How was your stream, Everett? Hopefully you had a good stream. Oh, we're all in on this cat. Like, hopefully it goes the distance, but we'll see. The freaking Dark Ritual turn one with Fair deck is hard for us to beat. Yeah, did you play against the Mystic Forge Keyring deck? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. They're probably removal. We're probably screwed here. Yeah, you could do that. I think we're just hoes, right? Like, god dang. Uh, can they just not have Dark Ritual for once? I do not want to play against these mono black Dark Ritual Fair decks. Oh, that is interesting though. That gives us 2 extra mana. Okay, let's just pass here. Actually, they're gonna Bowmaster. So that's kind of awkward. I'm gonna try to like ambush Viper this Bargoyf here with my endurance. We missed border game too, but I think we'd have lost anyways for what's worth. We're gonna Bowmasters presumably here. Time for the ambush Viper. Actually, yeah, I think that's correct. I was gonna let's do it this way. If they have another instant, I'm gonna be livid. Actually, it doesn't matter. We have protection from the Reclaimer anyways. Gonna what are they gonna do in response? If they have an instant here, they can grow the Bargoyf. A funny line. Well, actually, we can't do that because I was gonna say we could bog ourselves, but then the Bowmaster comes in. All right, we're gonna do. I feel like we just have to like let this resolve. If that makes sense. We know they have a Bowmasters. If they agent us here, oh my god. Like, can we afford to play around agent here? I feel like we. Oh my god. Are we supposed to play around agent here? I think we're supposed to walk into it and play around Bowmasters at the same time. All right, we know they have a Bowmaster. Oh my god, they do have the agent. Oh, all right. It is what it is. The problem is we don't have a threat. So like I feel like we're kind of priced into it, and they can still make the Bowmasters. They can still make the Bowmasters play like on our turn because, well, I guess maybe not. Like if they Bowmasters, maybe we just don't do anything. Now we're just screwed. Yep. We're just dead, I think. Actually, we're supposed to attack. What am I doing? Okay, I missed that. No, I don't think this. Well, maybe it matters, but I think we're just screwed here. We missed an attack. Actually, I'm like playing it really loosely. I know about the Bowmasters, yet I played it out anyways. That was a misplay on my behalf. Uh, the agent was a close call, right? Like it's just like we don't have any pressure. Uh, like we're just gonna waste mana. Like our turn. Let's just say we don't draw anything. Then what? Or if we do draw anything, then what? Like we still have to run it into the agent. I feel we're just gonna lose to one card here, which is kind of dumb, but yeah, we need raccoon now. We need raccoon. Ask and you shall receive. I know, right? That's a little awkward, right? We actually need two raccoons because they can attack us with theirs. We need two raccoons. Actually, not only do we need two raccoons, we don't have a sorcery. This is always the problem. We can't even turn on raccoon right now because we the hardest type to get into the yard for us is sorcery, and especially against in the creature mirror, which is why we often board in Saga. Possible, possible. It feels like they're just like mono black creatures though, and even then we're too short, not just one. We don't even have instant right now because of the endurance. Irony of it. I think I'm toast too. I'll scoop it up. I don't think I'm beating this. Like we're never gonna trump this dinosaur, and especially like with this going on, I think it's time to pack it in. Again, we lost the one card here. Like it, the funny thing is it's just not the way this game played out. The most common way for me to beat agent is, and there's a lot more ways than there was before, which before you just lights out dead, right? Now I've been able to beat it. Like I lost here, but I think I beat it like 50 or like half the time roughly. Um, the most easy way is raccoon is insane against them. Obviously a big white is a problem for them as well. So the two drops are a big problem for agent, and exalted helps a lot. So usually those are your routes to victory, but we didn't really draw enough threats in time. So, it is what it is. So a promising start now is only 2-2, but I'm not gonna be focused on being results oriented. I think from a deck building perspective, like what do we lose to here? I think we got a little bit unfortunate mode of 5 in game 3 against control, and I win or lose, I'm not gonna consider this like real sample size, right? And I think my opponent usually plays like kind of random decks too, so this might not be relevant sample size either. Yeah, age is not good from which is actually why it's not more widely played. I think I keep. Very awkward hand though. Yeah. So like if you're ahead on board, it's I wouldn't say it's trivial, but it's pretty common to be agent. They have to get like turn one like, or early, and you don't have pressure. And then, eh, why are we playing this kind of deck all the time? Okay. This is what I mean. Like I somehow attract all the Pox players. Is he? I don't know anything about him. I feel like every time I pair into them, they play something like completely off meta and usually like black oriented in the sense of like I don't know. I feel like they're a Pox player, but I'm getting Pox vibes, right? Uh, sure, I guess. All right, what are we doing here? I think. Oops, let's do it this way. I mean, it would not surprise me if I got Poxed here right now. Although they have ignoble, so it's maybe something else. Like I said, I must play against more Pox players than anybody else. I don't this week alone I played against twice, and I've talked to people who said they haven't played against it in a year. And I'm not even counting this as Pox for it, like actual small Pox. Okay, interesting. Think here. I'm just gonna like do that. That is a potential problem though. I can't kill it. I can't currently kill it. I guess I just let it go then again. It has menace too. I can't block profitably. Um I guess, yeah. You got me. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to do it yet, but that's definitely so I need to keep that in the back pocket, like because it's likely to come up. The endurance there. Endurance is a decently. Then I could like nuke their yard maybe. The question is like, is that worth better than a high arc here? Probably. Yeah, I think that's the plan at the moment. Oh my god, another dark ritual. That cannot be good for us. You kidding me? Okay. So I think the line here is I have to phase this. I think I have to phase this thing out and just like take care of the. Ugh. Oh my god. problem is, how do I beat this? Like, unlimited army, right? I think we double block, phase the thing out. Like we got rid of one problem already. And then I guess we can like chump block for days, maybe. Maybe that's the line. Also, we probably just need to draw natural order at some point. That's pretty damn good. Uh hmm. Now we're one short. Ugh. If I had known that was gonna be the draw. Actually, ugh, we can't even get we're one land short. I don't think we can afford to wait for Atraxa. I think we gotta get the white online right now. I don't think we can wait. If they top deck this card, we're just in huge trouble. Or not huge trouble, but we just like lose for no reason. Actually, hear my socials while I get the quick chance here. Thank you, Everin, for the raid, by the way. Uh, that is gonna be interesting to deal with. I think maybe I'll just make a big layer and just like I think that's the best line here. That's pretty good too. So, the question here is like, if I attack with a white and 7/7, they can like block, I guess, and then I could like clear their board. Maybe it's time to like, yeah. I'm gonna alpha strike pretty soon with this huge layer, right? That's 6/7/8. So this is a 7/7. I'm gonna attack with two 7/7s and then like dare them a block. That's not gonna be profitable. Two mana win target game. This is as close as it gets to Dread Horde and Psychic Frog. Granted, much stricter build around. All right, I don't think we have like any cards for them. Like, I don't think I want Seize in this matchup against the aggro deck. Maybe the Saga just like to turn on like as value in another land. Like, I don't think we have anything. I think there's like one card. That's it. Leyline of the Void. It's really funny. Somebody boarded in against me, Espervile. Rest in peace against me, and then I just like still activated Ride the Well of Courage, like killed him that way. Ugh, that's kind of scary. What are we doing here? It's really awkward because This is the reason why I actually cut cat. The sequencing is really awkward with why the Reliquary and Cradle. Graveyard Hate is legitimate if you are the beatdown. I actually don't think I'm the beatdown in this matchup. I think they are, but that's fair point. Like I have lost to it before out of like Moonstompy, but again, I actually think they're the beatdown. But to be fair, that matchup, like they lose to like a 5-5. So like I get why the rat. Like actually, it was Eli that was on here that pointed that out last time too. I hate doing this, but like I guess that's it. I don't know if they have Dark Wasteland, but I'm not gonna like expose my one black source here. I don't know what's going on. Like very confused. It sort of feels like they have removal. Um, and if that's the case, I kind of want to lead with Cat, and we have a second fetch here, so Cat is if they don't answer, it's a really fast clock too. But if they do answer, I'd rather they answer the Cat than the Wild Reliquary. Him, that's interesting. Okay, very strange. Um, I think I fetch now and then see what happens. I think I want to leave the option to go double white, so I'm just gonna fetch black here. Okay. Uh, okay. What's the correct sequencing here? They're not doing anything, so let's just take that first. I don't think they're a toxic deluge deck. I'm gonna guess. So I think the game might be already over. Don't think they're a toxic deluge deck because they have creatures, right? I mean, I could be wrong. It's possible they're like holding removal for Why the Reliquary too, which is getting super punished by the cat here, right? Sure. Also, I apologize. I just realized I'm like 5 minutes behind them, so I'm like playing slowly. I don't think I care. Like, I'm not gonna lose my white over that. Mm, yeah. Okay. We have like a million damage coming down here. All right, we went 3-2. Almost the maximum number of games, 14 out of the 15. Uh, I think the last two matches don't mean anything to me. Um, in terms of like prep, we did lose game three, but on a mode of five to control. I think we played okay though. I don't mind how we played tonight, and I think you know we mode of five here, and then we kind of got hosed out by opposition agent in game three against a mono black deck. I think the more important thing is we beat Demir Reanimator in round one, and I don't remember what this person was on. Anybody remember off the top of their head? Let me, look through the chat real quick. Maybe somebody else remembers. Oh, they were on the artifact deck because I just saw Eli's comment about double stone rain would have been cruel, right, on their saga plus I think it was what was the other thing they had? They had something else. I don't remember. Might have been like Seed of the Synod or something. And then they got Flusterstorm. So I think the first three matches like I value. We went 2-1. I don't put too much weight in the last two just because I don't expect to play against those decks. At a higher level setting, right? And really, I use leagues for practice more than anything else. Anybody have any questions for the list? I think I was especially happy with the way the Kenai played out with the Cub, namely if I'm gonna draw two of these two drops, I want to split it because, like I said, this is better late and this is better a little early. So if I'm gonna draw multiples, I would rather draw one of each, and then it helps with the sequencing. One of the reasons why went down on Cub for a while, even though I did win a showcase with four copies of this, is because it doesn't play very well with white because of the sequencing, right? Like on two, I always want to go white, and this card really wants to come down early. So like, there's some tension there. Now, obviously, you can get the combo, which is why I don't mind playing, the two copies here. And I think behind white and curator and the raccoon, it's probably the third best, two drop threat. And I don't really take any of the three drop threats seriously. Like I think if you're playing a three drop, for all intents and purposes, probably just need to win the game, right? Like this is really a zero drop, and I'm only playing it for value as a three drop against the tempo matchups. And even then, like we went down a copy tonight, and I think that was probably correct, right? We still won our Reanimator matchup, and we're essentially trying to make sure we don't accidentally lose to Cori-Steel, which unfortunately we didn't pair against tonight. But in theory, the way I think we're supposed to beat that deck is to be lower to the ground, which is what the cat and second safekeeper are meant to do. And then like I said, I added back in at least a partial natural order package because from a strategic standpoint, they know you don't have it. It's a it makes it a lot harder because they can play differently. And against some of these matchups like DNT, it is very hard to win. Like I beaten DNT, especially like two streams ago for the 5-0, but I felt I had to outplay my opponent. And at a higher level, I'm not going to rely on having to, be able to outplay my opponent every time, which I don't think will be the case against a, higher caliber player. Sideboard was pretty stock, nothing like crazy here, just like four of the best cards. Free, and then flexible. Anybody have any questions? I think I don't hate the list that we played tonight. I think off the top of my head, I wouldn't make any changes. Um, Interesting idea. The problem is like what matchup is it for, right? Like I think for the most part, this deck is like very favored in any of the fair matchups. I think the goal is to not accidentally lose the fair matchup that we did against Control, while trying to win as much of the high variance matchups as we can. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying with that, Levi. I think Retrofitter is as a way to just get more bodies on board, is decent. I know it's not a recommendation because I'm not sure like it's worth hedging for Control because just it's so unpopular, given where the meta is. But it is a card we have played historically, and that was pretty wide of the reliquary as well. So I'd imagine it's probably still pretty decent. Now, to be fair, I usually consider in fair matchups an untapped game with white is probably game already. So like that's why I don't. A lot of people I see like they say, "Oh, why don't you play cat because it's good with white?" I'm saying, well, if you have an untapped white, you probably already won anyways. So that's kind of the counter argument. Not true against combo unless it's like graveyard, but in general, it's like mostly true. I found the, the area where white is lacking, or I would say not as strong, is against some of these creature combo um matchups where they go wide and you have it takes forever to clock your opponent because you don't have trample, right? Like what comes to mind is something like a Nadu Elves or Nadu Cradle where white is not as good. And that's why I had to play the Saga Needle package because I need to make a white, a better threat than it. Otherwise, it would be very mediocre in that match where they have just too many trump blocks, right? Um, it's why these other supplemental cards, the Robins, if you will, right, to the Wild Reliquary, are so important because they have trample, which white does not, and white is a little bit weaker against some of these creature combo matches where you can't get through. Anybody else have any questions? Good comment though, Levi. Hope. By the way, I think you said you had one more semester, so hopefully that's going well. I know it's summer right now, so you're working on your masters. Also, shout out to Eli for hanging out. Fellow Goblin player here. Uh, Thank you again for Everin for the raid. Let's see who else was hanging out. I think I saw Wonder Pro Max Carini was hanging out. Gray Merchant. Actually, it's really funny. I have a funny short story about Gray Merchant of I forgot what the rest of the name is. Gary, as they call him. One time I showed up at my LGS on a Friday and I had nothing. I was just hanging out. Somebody handed me their mono black devotion deck, and I think like Darrow standard. I went undefeated that night. It's just that how good that deck was, and I forget which card it was. I don't. It might have been the 2-drop. I don't remember, but one of the 2 drops was in Korean. I had to ask the judge like what my own card did, but like the deck was so strong, I just went undefeated despite 0 games of standard at that point. Pack Rat, that's what it was. It was probably the Pack Rat that was foreign. That would make sense, right? Because Cube All Star. But yeah, the pack rats I think were like Korean or something, and I had to ask a judge because I didn't remember all the text. Of it was either pack or something else. I don't remember, but might have been the no. Seize was in standard at the time, so it couldn't have been another discard spell. Yeah, that was the exact deck I was playing with. Pack rat, desecration demon, which was pretty sick. Yeah, that deck was a lot of fun to play. And it was the first and last time I ever played Thera standard. Oh, for sure. I have heard the stories of the Pack Rat limited bomb. I think the other ones that come to mind is like that Sphinx. I forgot what it's called. A couple years ago. And I forget what else. But yeah, Pack Rat definitely one of the bombs of all time. All right. If there are no other questions, I guess I will raid Dream Crawler. Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. I think I might even play that set. I don't remember. DNT couldn't be stand. I don't know. Maybe. I think it depends on the hand, right? If you get like a wasteland, well, actually, wasteland doesn't do anything against metal black, so yeah, that would be interesting. You definitely had those Mangara tricks back then, and that's actually why I picked up DNT. But as you can see, I have an affinity for some of these like creature heavy interaction type of decks, and DNT is a little bit different now, but I think there's a lot of similarities in this, Cradle deck to old school DNT. In you're really a tempo hate bear deck at the same time. It's just that you have a combo finish, right? With natural order and like, there's nothing fair about guys Cradle either. So, all right. If there are no other questions, I will go ahead and raid PT Bench. Thank you everyone for hanging out, and I think the list we played is thank you, appreciate that Eli. I mean Levi. I think the list we played is good. We just got a little bit unlucky in some of those games there, but I think I'm happy with what we registered at least. All right. Take care. Thank you everyone for hanging out.